Moving on to the pinning section, there's lots of pins. The biggest key is that when you're using a pin that it's one, long enough, and two, that it's appropriate for what you're working with. So there are some little short little stubby pins like this one. I prefer to have, and I request that all my students have, some type of end on their pin, the little stop metal ones. As cheap as they are, if you look at our floor, you would not find it if you dropped it. We have a little bit of a chance of finding and picking it up if it's got the head on the end of it, that's little ball. It's a little bit simpler to handle and maneuver, and they're longer. They're a longer pin. This is a short stubby pin. I don't think it's long enough in my opinion, and it's kind of frustrating if you can't pin with a decent sized pin. There are some novelty pins that some people buy. I like these for certain things, but I will tell you these heads come off really easy and it's a pain in the rear end, and then the pin is no good. They also are thinner in metal and they bend real easy, and that's no good. You can kind of see this one's not perfect anymore. These next two are pretty decent pins. Again, they're just a ball headed. They're not a ball point pin. They are a ball headed pin, so the head of the pin has got the ball that you can hold on to. This is a quilting pin, this yellow one. It's my favorite. I have thousands of them at my house, but that's my favorite. This last one is a hat pin. It's way too big and too thick around, and it would leave marks. It would leave a hole in your product that you're working on. This last one is a T-pin. We use this to mark things. Sometimes if you're maybe spreading something out and you're blocking it for knitting and crocheting, different textiles, it's not something we use very often, but I wanted you to be aware of something of that. You will not buy those. You don't not need them. When you buy pins, a lot of times they come in a plastic container like this. And then the thing that goes with pinning is pin cushions. So we have just the most common, most popular, probably pin cushion. This one, they're full, most of them, of sawdust. This is called an emery bag here, this little strawberry. It does not sharpen your pins or needles. What it does is clean them so that they don't get caught on your fibers, because between the sweat and oils and things from your fingers, they have a tendency to build up on your pins, and then it won't glide through your fabric very easily. So we use the emery bag to clean them. It's just like an emery board for your fingernails. It just kind of smooths things off. This is another pin cushion. This is one that if you're in class we're going to be making. It's on a ceramic tile. So those would be the pinning items.